Hi guys, what's up? We're in the next part. Please go check out the previous part. In the previous part, to gauge your bearings, in the previous part I was talking about the fact that the devil is pursuing godly women through wicked men. It's like a whole strategy. I explained the whole thing that is hovering over South Africa, and how it is that the devil is now currently trying still to marry me off to a wicked man, but he has noticed, he has observed, he has gathered insights and realized that I don't barge at random affliction of my person by just anybody throwing korobela at me, because at the end of the day I'm a person that has tastes, likes, desires that, you know, linger me onto a certain kind of man. So he started using guys that I already have had a history of liking, having crushes on, having feelings for, and he hoped to make that work. I explained a story briefly of a guy that basically deserves his own segment because he was very instrumental to breaking me off that guy, or what he did to me. He broke me off from the idolatry that I had for marriage. He turned me off so badly with the way that he afflicted me that I finally overcame. But before that guy, he was basically a culmination of insanity. Before he wreaked the havoc that he wreaked in my life to a point where I would even end up thinking that he was my future husband, the devil attacked me with guys I crushed on, guys that I actually liked. So he basically rose from the dead. Things I imagined were in my past, and to a certain extent they nearly worked, but really not too well. The first person to not try a stunt, remember, or rather to basically try and take out revenge on me because of love that the devil was using to, you know, make him do a ritual against me that would block me and trap me in whatever he's doing. The first such human being, well, I mean, my ex was of course the first. He was already busy with me in the relationship, but this guy, I say the first because he was the first sort of outside of my ex to basically try and block my future marriage. Okay, my ex was a ground zero, and this dude was the first extraneous out of my former relationship attempter of so a thing as this. It was Zama. You guys remember that Zama is... What? Am I really gonna... I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I thought I reduced the volume. Why is it so loud? Oh, goodness. I'm gonna have to redo all of these videos. Oh, my goodness. It's okay. Whatever. May the Lord's grace cover me. I'll be okay. Why though is it so loud? Anyway, whatever. Cool. As you guys, I've got so much work on my hands. Let's move on. The first guy was Zama. Let's busy talk about Zama. After my ex, to try and block my prospects for marriage, to try and block everything because of embitterment. Okay, I got a dream about this guy. Perhaps like my ex and I at that stage were already broken up. I did not lose everything immediately after my ex and I broke up. I still had another remember this Zama guy, I got rid of him because we went on a date. He pulled the stunt that he pulled. I said, I'm not doing it. My ex tried to come back. He then pulled the stunt that he pulled. We broke up. He hurt me. After hurting me, I got born again precisely because of how much he had hurt me. So at the beginning of my faith, this is when this guy pulled the stunt off on me because I had broken away from him, the Zama guy. And I would be still working in corporate South Africa for another 3 years before I lost everything. Okay, the culmination of this insanity by men happened with the dude that I spoke about in my previous part, who I used to call head boy, that I thought was my future husband. That's the one that basically severed the idolatry in me for marriage. He turned me off so hard now that I conquered. Okay, very well. So basically, number one in this insane little thing, because the devil knew that I don't just respond to random guys korobelaing me. His best bet at marrying me off to a gangster guy would be one that I would naturally already sort of kind of have a crush on. Okay, unbeknownst to myself. So he brought people from the past. He brought people that I had issued like that kind of affiliation to, and initially he did not care if they were saved or not. So this guy, this Zama guy, he hated Christianity and Christ. You guys, I didn't let you guys know that, right? I, however, was I was getting very mature in the Lord to a point where I was like, I'm not going to be unequally yoked with an unbeliever, right? But the devil had not yet, I guess, gauged how unprepared to be with an unbeliever I was. That's one of the biggest reasons why Zama sort of kind of bounced off. Like, he did not lodge in me. The thing that lodged in me that nearly married me off to an unbeliever was the dude that rocked up that was from the past, a crush I had, and I then learned that he was all up in the church, but he was lukewarm. He was not saved. The grand crush that I had on the actual Christian guy, you will remember when I was newly saved in Christ, that crush ended because I learned that this dude did not bear any fruit. But then thereafter, I started getting nightmares about Uzama. Because remember, Zama works in the office. Not in the way he worked in Constantia, right? And every so often he would see me. So because he would keep seeing me, he struggled to let go of what I clearly made it, sort of kind of threw in his general direction, I'm done with. Like, I made it clear to him that I'm not going to be strung along. I'm not going to be a side piece, etc. And he had called me once and been like, and I was like, no, I'm not running away from you. And I was like, hey, I'm not running. He caught on. He picked it up. He would send me text messages saying, look, seeing me around the office, and he would be like, you look really beautiful. And I wouldn't respond. So he basically let go, or at least physically. He let go physically. He stopped trying to talk to me, see if maybe I can't be, maneuvered or whatever physically. But he then came at me with spiritual weapons. I had a dream one night where, I hate that I'm going to likely have to bring this down to the next day because I'm still talking and I'm getting to a point. Hopefully we'll all nicely get to the point. I'm disappointed. I'm so disappointed by this upload process. Like, I can't for the life of me believe that I have to redo this whole thing. Anyway, I had a dream. Here's the dream. My brain is scattered. I'm all over the show. Let me just talk, alright? As the occult, guys, it'll wear you out, ne? It'll exhaust you. The things that people do. I'm working. I don't understand my dreams. I'm still newish in the faith, but I'm dreaming. In this dream, this guy, ne? I was the house. There are so many people that are using witchcraft, still are using witchcraft against my life, that I get so many mixes of an ecosystem. But this dream happened go habo this guy where he grew up. I understood it to be where he grew up, okay? But it was also mixed with one of my aunt's houses, because a lot of what's happening to me is also linked to my aunt's witchcraft against my mom's family. So let's just then go back then to highlighting the fact that it was where he grew up, right? And I walked into the kitchen. I knocked komnyako. The main door was the kitchen yako habona. I kokotad, right? And a woman that I understood to be his mother opened the door. And after opening the door and she saw me, she was like, karabo mtanam, unjani. Basically a woman that absolutely loved me. She loved me so much. Pretty much similar to my ex-boyfriend's mom. I told you how much she was a massive fan, okay? And I get in the kitchen, I'm like, hi, ma. I get his name is Zama, right? In my dream, I had an understanding that I was dating Zama. I was dating Uzama, right? I was going to see my boyfriend, basically. I was going to visit my boyfriend, Kohabona, alright? I go into the kitchen, the mom greets me, loves me, and I'm like, ma, I'm here to see Zama. She's like, okay, then I'll call Uzama. The mother then goes and gets Uzama, and I hear an argument between him and the mom. And the mother is basically saying to Zama, you can't keep hurting Karabo. She loves you, and frankly, I love her. She's good for you. And Zama was rebelling against his mother. On ma, she's my girlfriend. Leave me alone. I know what I'm doing here. Just please, like, and the mother was like, Mina, ntandu karab, not lawyer. Mina ntandu karabo, not lawyer. Omunye. Yeah, the mother was basically saying to his son that she likes me and not the other one. That's what I overheard being spoken between Zama and his mom as they argue in the distance. Zama finally comes to the kitchen to get me, and he's rude. He's like, Asam Karab. And you can tell he's agitated with the mom. And the mom is like, okay, Karabo, right? And we go into the house, right? But then we go out the back door, and then to back room. Go habona. So in African culture, a lot of times when sons get older, like when they turn like 18, 19, 20 or whatever, they, if at all in their parents' houses, there is a back room, the mother and the dad or whatever, they sort of kind of leave that room open for the son. to live in, and they have no qualms with the son inviting girls over, basically fornicating and whatnot. They just get treated like kings. It's like that in black culture. So I went to a back room where I understood my boyfriend Zama lives. It's a breakaway from the main house. He still lives at home with his mom. I can't really say parents because I didn't see a dad, right? But he lives at home with his mom. But he's got like his own back room establishment where he is living at. And in this back room, I go, before we even get there, hanging on like random doorposts in the house are items of my clothing. Oh, and I also need to put it out there that Kiko Habo, this guy, and I'm really young in the dream. I'm not the 26-year-old woman that I am in waking life, the 27-year-old woman that I am in waking life. I am like a teenager. I'm like maybe 17, maybe 16. Okay? Yeah, and Zama is like maybe 19, maybe 20. Like proper. That's my age in this dream. And Zama is also very evidently that age in this dream. So it is just like a backtracking, right? Okay, we go to his right? We exit through this back door, and on the doorpost hanging are items of my clothing, my very highly fashionable clothing, as in like diaparo tse tsaka. But it was also clothing that I had when I was growing up. It was not the clothing that I owned in modern time, right? Mara, I had always really loved fashion, and I'd always really known my way around putting cloth on my body. And some of my belts were hanging, my tops, my sneakers, from when I was a teenager. But they were high fashion items, and they were just hanging on the doorposts of Zama's mother's house as we were exiting it, go into the back room. Go Habon. Zama is what do you call this? Not very sweet to me. He's not very kind. He's not loving. He's not boyfriendy. He's just mean, and I don't understand why he's so harsh to me, right? But I'm in love, right? In this dream, I was just extremely in love with him, and so I just kind of like settled. I took it in my stride, his mistreatment of my person, right? And he takes me to his room at the back, and I go in there, and we get on his bed, and we are now making out a whole bunch. But as we are making out a whole bunch, I stop him, right? Because he obviously wants to like have sex with me now. And I'm like, but Zama, I'm a Christian, and I can't have sex before marriage. And then he gets irritated with me, but like not forceful or aggressive or whatever. And then he's like, but we spoke about this. Like, why did you come? And then I also, as we were like, okay, yeah, like, but why did you come? We spoke about this. And I'm like, but yes, just the very thing in waking life. I also said to him, I do not want to be second best to you. I cannot be with you if you don't make me number one. If you don't make me number one, if you don't make me the be all and end all, right? I can't really be with you. I don't want to just be somebody that you are hiding. Plus, I also don't believe in sex before marriage. I can't do this with you. Okay? He then stands up and leaves. Right? He then gets up and leaves the room, almost as if though he was going to go and get me food to eat or whatever. And as he's gone, I then look around the room near his bedroom, basically, that he sleeps in, and there is a photo on like the pedestal that's been put down, like like when you're trying to hide a photo of a person, it's been put down. And in the dream, I make a decision to lift it to see whose photo he decided that he wants to put down now that I am here with him. And it was the photo of his there's just so much movement going on outside. It was a photo of his girlfriend, the one that I knew as his girlfriend, that I had seen the photos of on Facebook, right, in waking life. It was the photo of that girlfriend. And there were a lot of them, not just one, that were put down like that. When I unfolded every last one of them, put them back up to see what he's hiding, it was this woman. It was her. And so basically, if you've got like a photo of a woman on your pedestal, that's the one that is your girlfriend, right? That is the one that is your girlfriend. Very well. After I see these photos, he then comes back from wherever it is that he was at, and I'm like, Zama, we spoke about this. like, you've chosen her photos are the ones that are on your pedestal. We like this. Why? I don't want to be with you when you are with her, and you obviously have chosen her because these are her photos. It's not me, that you have made number one. It's her, and you are basically cheating on her with me. So you gotta choose. And we started to have an argument, the two of us, right? And then his mother came on some Zama, mina ngithanda uKarabo. Mina ngithanda uKarabo. Zama, I want Karabo. Karabo was the one. I want Karabo. I want Karabo. And this Zama guy was like, Ma, get out of it. Please. This is my life. I get to choose. I get to decide. Stop interjecting in my affairs, in my matters. And the dream ended. When I woke up, I didn't understand what in the world that meant. So I decided to send Zama an email, maybe like a week after that dream, because it just never left me. And in that email, Dam Karabo, I was like, I get it, his name is Zama. I get it, I had been ignoring him. I had stopped responding to his emails and everything. I decided that I need to get closure with this, because maybe the Lord wants me to set him free. For what reason? It's not like we were dating. And in that email, I said something along the lines of, hey Zama, I hope you're good. It's been a minute. Anyway, I'm really sorry for causing you to stumble in any way. You have got a beautiful girlfriend, and really, frankly, she deserves the best. And I hope that you guys, have a great future together. I do apologize for being a stumbling block to you, and for sort of kind of low-key being disrespectful. She is a great girl. Go on, do you grab your future with the sister. Go and grab a future with the sister. I had the weirdest dream about you. Where it is that, like, it looked like I was sort of kind of maybe annoying you, for being all up in your grill. I'm sorry about that. Like, it ain't nothing. I expected this guy to respond to me on some, nah, it's nothing. Come on, chill. Like, and besides, like, are you, whatever. No, it's nothing at all. Watula, nothing. He did not respond to me at all. I never heard from Zama ever again. Ever again. I never heard from him ever again in his own personal capacity. The whole 3 cycle, other than maybe the few times that I would bump into him, he would greet, and like that would be it, right? It's like Kimotsusitse. I scared him. I did not mention anything about God because I kind of understood that he was disinterested in God, type establishment thing, right? But like, yeah, that was it. That dream, I did not understand any ounce of it until, like I said, years later, when I finally started to appreciate my spiritual gifting for exactly what it is, and when I found out exactly what in the world was going on, Ngozama. But let me tell you what made me reach conclusions of that nature about Zama. It was yet more dreams that I would get about Zama. Some of them I got where after losing everything, and I was now living in just isolation and solitude, afflicted by the planet. What made me reach these conclusions about what I was being shown about Zama. Alright, the next dream that I got, I had a friend, right, that was a fashion designer. I had a friend that was a fashion designer, and in this dream, she was with me, right? I saw Zama, like, next to, like, a Porsche, like some very expensive car, looking really fashionable and suave type thing. I live with an aloof disposition, looking like a Ken doll, or not even paying attention to what I'm doing and what's going on over there. And then my girl and I, who is a fashion designer, get into a taxi, right? A public transportation, almost like we don't have cars. Well, I had a car at the time, my girl maybe not. Yeah, okay, cool. Kibeli taxi. And this guy, I walk past him. I know him in the dream just as I know him in waking life. But he's not greeting, and he's not even looking at me, and he's treating me like I ain't Jack, aloof disposition, like I said, brother swag. And then I get in the taxi without greeting, and I start to feel like, why didn't he greet? I mean, it's like, and I was all sad and feeling insecure about myself. We closed the taxi, and my friend and I, then the taxi at Zamaya type thing. And as when the taxi's driving, right, then all of a sudden this guy that was standing next to a Porsche is literally goes too long like we were not at the very back seat. We were sitting, the taxi have got the rows 32. We were sitting in one of the ones that were in the middle, and he was at the very back. He appears like from I don't know where, at the very back of where I am at, next to my friend, and he starts like kissing my neck, like licking my neck, like, and then saying, "Oh my goodness, you're so beautiful," like trying to like guys, like it's very, hey, like from the back of me. That dream was so alive and real that I woke up in the middle of the night. doing that to the back of my head, almost like something was crawling on my neck, like a, what do you call this thing? A scorpion. A scorpion was on my neck. His kisses, his licking and everything on the back of me, and that obsessive groping of me woke me up because I felt it in physical form, like an insect was crawling on the back of my neck. And I woke up sort of kind of, dusting it off. My friend was just merely there in the dream. Nothing. She did nothing. She didn't speak a thing. She was just merely there. I don't understand. I wake up from that. I'm like, okay, at this point, I'm not sending any emails, but I'm just confused. I don't understand what's going on. And then the third dream that I get about this guy, this time around, I'm still employed at MTN. Right, I'm still employed, guys. And then, so I still am cool. I don't understand my spiritual gifting. When I say I'm still employed, I understand I'm in the dark. I'm just getting these dreams. In this particular dream, I had accepted that this guy went his own way. Plus, I'm in Christ now. I'm really very content. Next thing, I find myself I was overlooking a wedding day. I was overlooking lenyalo lahaye. It was the day of his wedding, right? Unanyala. He was getting married. And I was not at the wedding, but I was looking from a distance at the wedding. And I'm content in my dream. On some, he married her. He made a decision to propose marriage to the girl that I once upon a time tried to kick out of the way. Remember, I'm Christian now, and I'm content. I ain't got no issues with that. I already made my decision even before coming to Christ that I'm not doing this with this guy, and I wasn't stumbled even in any way. I was not sad that he wasn't getting married. I wasn't bereft. I wasn't broken. I was just on some, he married her. Okay. Or he's marrying her. He proposed marriage to her. Okay. That's all I was thinking in my dream from this distance. And I'm just looking at the wedding. It was a white wedding in some gardenous atmosphere, like lots of greenery, lots of pillars, looking like a Greek setting type thing. And the bride, right, was walking down the aisle to him. This woman was walking down the aisle to him. It was about time for this thing to happen. Here comes the bride. Here comes the bride. Their guests and everything are gathered, and I'm looking literally from a distance, almost like I'm in the sky, just looking down at this event. And now I have no qualms with what's going on in the dream. Let's just put that out there. Next thing, this guy, as he's standing there as the groom, right, waiting for his bride to basically arrive at him, he looks up into the sky where I'm at, sees me, he spots me, and in something like 1 second, he's right here in my face. And he's like, oh my goodness, Karabo, I love you. Will you marry me? Will you marry? Yes, I'm like, and in my dream, I'm like, I'm shocked. I'm confused. I'm like, whoa, what are you doing? How did you get here so quickly? And on top of that, how can you ask me to marry you? You have got a wife that you are supposed to marry today, and I don't want to be a homewrecker. All I could think about in my dream was, I don't want to be a homewrecker. And I am busy saying in my dream, no, I can't marry you. Because I'm not doing this. I'm not going to have my reputation destroyed. But as he's busy saying, I love you, and he's kissing me all over the show, he's groping me, he's touching me, he's hugging me, I'm falling, I'm melting, I am capitulating, I am feeling a pull into him. I'm trying to accept this status of being a homewrecker, a person that's going to crash a wedding and stop it from happening on the day of the wedding and break a woman's heart. They had gone to a point of guests are there, they had paid for the venue, they had all that jazz, and this guy was telling me on his wedding day that I will stop everything right now if you tell me you love me, and we'll run together, we'll elope. It's you I want. It's you. That's what he was doing. And I woke up, I was like, okay, I don't understand what's going on here. God, why am I busy dreaming like this about this guy? At this stage, it's been like maybe I'm in like the faith a year or two, and I'm still getting dreams about this oak. Since I think last time I saw him was all that time ago. Last time we spoke was over. We didn't even speak. I sent him an email that he didn't respond to. How in the world am I dreaming such things? Didn't I understand spiritual dreams, right? Very well. That was the third dream. And then the fourth, was it the final dream? The fourth and final dream. This time around, it was not him that was trying to grope and kiss and whatnot me. This time around, I had lost everything, right? I was in my apartment, Good Lone Hill, in the middle after MTN suspended me without cause, and I was basically waiting to get fired without cause. And I started getting flooded by so many dreams, confirming all the dreams that I saw. At this stage in my walk, I've embraced my spiritual gifting. I realize it for what it is. house. And so I'm starting to seek out interpretations and stuff like that. God then resurfaces and bubbles this guy to the surface so that I can understand what I was dreaming back then and petition him concerning it, that I might gain the understanding. And then I get a dream, right, about him. And in this dream, again, aunt's house, but also Kohabona, the same house that I saw in my dream, the first one that I just explained to you guys, ne? And in this dream, this guy was going Karabo. Remember the first dream I got that at his house, and the mother opened and she loved me. This time around, I got that at his house as well. No, that was not the last dream I got about this guy. It was the second last, but the second last one, he was not in the dream. It was his girlfriend. In fact, I got 2 dreams about the girlfriend, 2. Okay, but I will tell you them later. I got that. And again in this dream, aunt's house. Don't know why. I think it's because of her involvement in messing up with my mom's life, and so therefore my mom's kids. I was also young in this dream, like a teenager. Alright, and Uzama naye, he was a teenager in this dream. Mega corner in the dream. He was there in the dream, but I didn't get to see him. So knock on the door, and guess who opens this time? It's not the mom at the door, it is the girlfriend. Imediake in waking life is the one that answers the door, and I'm like, hi, how are you? I'm here to see Zama, right? And she's like, Zama's not here. And I'm like, but I know he's here because I could feel that he was around. Okay, like dreams are weird that way. And she's like, no, he's not here. Like literally, I stood at the door just telling this girl, I want to see Zama, and she was telling me he's not here. And I was like, but I can feel that he's here. And she's like, Ageko. And like, but I know he's in the bedroom. And she's like, Zama's not here. And I'm like, I can feel he's here. And she's like, Zama is not here. I'll let him know that you came. I'll give him the message, okay? Bye now. She closed the door. Oh my goodness. She like shut the door in my nose. Let me tell you why I could feel that Zama was there. My spirit in the dream traveled into the house, and I saw Abu Baba dressed in black. Like, yeah, Zama was in the middle, knelt down of a circle of Abu Baba. Right? In my auntie's bedroom / bedroom, yeah, that was also Zama's home. That was also Zama's, what do you call this? Like, it was a combination of my aunt's house and this guy's house, like thingy, childhood home. He was encircled by a whole bunch of Abu Babas, and he was in the center, knelt down. And these Abu Babas, they worked for this Chiki. They worked for the girl who opened the door, the girlfriend, right? They were hers. They belonged to her. Ancestors. I felt like it was ancestors, like entities. They were all dressed in black, and this guy was knelt down on the floor, and there was a circle around him. And this circle was what was preventing Zama, one, from sensing that I'm outside or even getting out of the bedroom where they were encircling him, to basically answer the door for himself. Go habona. Yeah, okay, that was dream number 3. That's why earlier when I was talking about Zama and the girlfriend, I was like, they deserve each other, bali tu baloya. Boy, too, they're into witchcraft. He had it coming. Okay? Yeah, anyway, whatever. Cool. Got that dream. I'm just gonna tell you all of them. The next dream that I got was I was not in my apartment. After getting my pension money, I got myself 1 year rental. Go 4 ways, living by myself because I could not stay with my mom, right? When I was living at that apartment, I got this dream. All right. They just kept coming. Zama in this dream was in a bedroom, right? He was in a bedroom in front of a computer screen, and there were lots and lots of photos of essentially like no. Zama was sitting in front of a computer screen, and he was looking at photos of something, right? On a computer screen. And this girl came into this bedroom, this room that he was in front of his computer, looking at pics on, and she saw him, but he didn't see her. She saw him, but he did not see see him look at those photos. And it turns out that the photos that he was looking at were of me, of my Facebook account. And she stood at the corner, watching him scroll, like photo after photo after photo after photo, while she was standing in the corner peeping at this guy, and not at this guy, sorry, peeping at her guy, at her man, looking at pics of another woman on, I guess, Facebook. And the dream ended that way. Like she was peeping, watching him watch that, more computing yahaye in a room, thinking that he's all by himself. That was the next dream. And then I got another dream where this chick, like, literally was closing a door in a room where I was in a corner, and she locked the door. Yo, ay, buloy. They deserve each other. All that I saw in that dream was her closing the door. I was too late for me to run quickly and be like, hey, don't lock me in. Literally, you know, when light is piercing into a room and then it gets smaller and smaller because someone is closing the door. That's what happened. I was in a corner and she closed the door and locked it. Went on her merry way. And then dream ended. That's like it. Ay, linyadisizwe, guys. You deserve your wives, you deserve your girlfriends, you deserve each other. I'm sorry, Zama, but you shouldn't have come at me with witchcraft. You should have repented. You should have loved Jesus. You should not have hated my Jesus. Then you would have been rescued from her. We could have run off into the sunset. I'm sorry. Your hatred of Jesus cost you. You met me. I was your grace. I was your grace because I was interrogating the things of God. But you so hated Jesus that you tried to remove me from Christ. But if you had allowed me to influence you for Jesus, you would have been rescued from the woman that became your wife. You would have been rescued from Light Jezebel that you married. You hated Christ so much that you, for the life of you, tried to walk me away from the Lord. And that made sure that you would marry a woman that trapped you. Anyway, I got yet another dream. Right, this time around, Nekileko Wits, like outside Wits University, the exit LA, that is it Yale Road or whatever? Yeah. I was at Wits University, and a woman in my organization who shares the same name as Zama's girlfriend, so let's say the name was Pepe, right? A woman who shares the same name as this guy's girlfriend was in my dream, and she worked for my company. Okay, yeah, this chick worked for my company, and this Pepe lady basically like took my hand just as I was getting out of school. Again, I was young in this dream. Like I was very young to a point where I'm using buses instead of my own car. Okay, she takes my hand and I'm like, hey Pepe, you know, because she's my colleague, I know, I recognize her, and she's not talking to me, this Pepe girl. She takes my hand and she marches me to a taxi, puts me in and shoves me into the taxi, rams the door shut, and then hits the taxi at the back and says go. And then I go, and the dream ended. When I woke up, I was like, oh my goodness, Lord, did that colleague put witchcraft on my education? Did that colleague hurt me? What's going on? And then the Lord was like, no, that colleague did not afflict you with sorcery. That colleague shares the name of another witch, but this time around she put a cloaking spell so that you don't see her. And so therefore I used the colleague from MTN to show you pretty much who was responsible for that witchcraft, because you shared a name. They shared a name. Her name was unique, is unique. It's very different. It's like, it's not like Arabo or even the name Pepe itself. It's like one of those weird names that are like rarely ever found in society. And so for my colleague to have that name was a miracle, because it's a very rare name, and there's only one other person that I know that has that name, and it is the girlfriend of this guy. And God was like, this time around she put a cloaking spell, that's why you didn't see her face, but you saw your colleague. I'm trying to show you that Lomund Lona keeps kicking you out. This is, guys, like years down the line. Years down the line, and Lomfazlona, she was still busy. The dreams that I get showing me sorcery, I get them as soon as the sorcerer or the witch or whatever has cast the spell. So if I dream something, it's immediate. I don't dream about stuff 3, 4, 5, 10 months, 2 years down the line from the date of the witchcraft being taken. It's almost immediate. So basically this woman was busy with me even long after. What time is it? I'm gonna take a shower and then come back and finish the story. Even long after that. No, actually I'm going to do one last part because I have to interpret these dreams. Okay, yeah. Even after and I was off the radar. I was uploading content on social media. No, I was uploading content on social media, but I had pretty much lost everything and whatnot. I was still getting these dreams about this woman, basically like closing me out type thing. A couple of, like, maybe just a few years ago, I googled. I was wondering, I wonder what happened to certain people, and I googled this dude, and lo and behold, in the same year that I wanted to see this guy, I wonder whatever happened to Zama, I wonder whatever happened to this man, and I went online to pretty much find out what's going on. That very same year they got married, and that year, it's like what, 2 or 3 years ago, it's not long ago, 2 or 3 years ago. I have been in persecution now for 8 years, going on 9. So essentially long after I left MTN, they were still just dating. It took a minute for him to make an honest woman out of her, and in the run-up to that time, busy out here in these streets. Let's move on to the next part to interpret the dreams.